Welcome back everybody to Kirby's Adventure Week. I am the Epic Fudge and we are moving on to the bonus episodes of this Let's Play. Now, we've already done the main game as we've seen already, but once you do the main game, you unlock Extra Mode, which is basically like how the Expert Mode was handled in Star Fox 64. When you clear the main game, you also unlock the Arena, which is basically your average boss rush. And if you clear the Extra Mode, you'll get the True Arena, which is what I'll be showing you in this bonus episode. Now, if you actually complete either the Arena or the True Arena, then when you go back to both of them, you get to choose out of all 4 characters that you get the option to choose on the co-op basis. You can choose between Kirby, who's basically, Kirby of course. There's Meta Knight, who's like a mix between Sword and Wing, Dedede, who's your Hammer ability, and Waddle Dee, who's actually your Spear ability. So that's quite interesting. Also, when you start off right here, you'll get your choices between all of the abilities in the game, including Crash and Mike. So you got a pretty decent choice here if you're Kirby. Of course, if you're any of the other characters, you can't actually use these ability stations because they have permanent abilities and can't really change. But yeah, that's a little helpful. Anyway, why am I skipping the Arena and going through the True Arena instead? Well, basically what I'm supposed to be doing here is, if I was doing the Arena, it'd just be the same bosses that you've seen all before. But as you may notice right now, because it's the True Arena, these are bosses taken from the Extra Mode of the game. And unlike Star Fox 64, the bosses in the Extra Mode of the game have actually been changed up a bit. You might have noticed that the Plasma Doomer right here has had a couple of extra attacks. Couple of other noticeable differences is that the health bar is now multicolored for some reason. I have no idea why they've done that. And also, all the Sphere Doomers now only have one eye and look a little bit more threatening. Most of their attacks are basically the same as what you get earlier, but some of them will be the odd pattern recognition because, as you saw, the Fire Sphere Doomer should have charged straight into me, but ended up stopping midway so that he could try and charge into me a bit later. Also, all the Sphere Doomers have the ability to create black holes that can suck you in. They don't actually properly suck you in or anything, but if you get too close to them, you will take damage, and they will pull you. So you have to watch out for that. But anyway, those are the Sphere Doomers. I'm going to be showing you clips from all 4 characters of the game just to keep things interesting. You've watched me play Kirby for God knows how long now, so for this run of Wispy Woods right here, we're going to be playing as Waddle Dee, who, like I said earlier, is your basic spear ability. If you go on the pause menu and have a look at his attack names, they have slightly different names, like the Spear Copter is now the Waddle Copter, which is one of the stupidest but most awesome names for something I've ever seen. But either way, like I said, Waddle Dee's your basic spear ability, and it actually takes a bit of skill to use properly, but when you do get to use it properly, it's very satisfying and a lot of fun. But yeah, it's kind of hard to clear the Arena with Waddle Dee. But other than that, he's your spear ability, nothing's really changed. He's a Waddle Dee. And it's the fact that he can jump indefinitely. He doesn't like float like Kirby does, he actually just jumps infinitely like that. Which is stupid. Anyway, I'm not going to be showing you these in the order that I'm going to be fighting them, because like I said, I'm showing you different runs from each character. So, as you can see, this is like the first set of the mini-bosses that we're fighting right here with Kirby. But, as you can see on the top left, there's a timer right here, and this is quite late in the Kirby run. So, yeah, that's something. Anyway, all of the mini-bosses have also had their strategy changed, and they also have their recolored, like, Bonkers right here should be mainly purple and skin-coloured, but now he's red and grey and stuff like that. Their attack patterns haven't really changed much, just some of them are a bit bigger than what they should be, and sometimes they attack twice when they should only attack once. Nothing really that special. Anyway, King Dedede is, like I said, your basic hammer ability, which is overpowered as hell. It's definitely... he's basically the easy mode of the Arena, because of how powerful the hammer is. I mean, yeah, there's all that. And not only that, but the hammer throw ability, which is one of Kirby's most powerful hammer abilities, because the hammer like blows up, but because you're Kirby, you lose your hammer. Because you're King Dedede, who has a permanent hammer ability, you can constantly spam the hammer throw and King Dedede will just pull out another hammer out of nowhere. So you can use that to your advantage actually if you're playing this King Dedede. Anyway, Mr. Douter, as you see, has got a snazzy little mustache. He's also gone a bit red for some reason. He's also got fire punches, and he also tries to grab you occasionally. But other than that, nothing much difference. Anyway, after that, we have the second set of mini-bosses right here, starting with Kibbleblade. And Kibbleblade has actually been changed quite dramatically in the extra mode, because he has a charge attack that will catch you off guard on your first time, because usually you think you can telegraph the attack and just jump over it as soon as he starts charging at you. But here, he starts charging at you, and before you know it, because of how fast he goes, you take a hit, so it's in your best interest to just get in the air before he actually attacks you. Other than that, Kibbleblade's not really anything that special. Anyway, after Kibbleblade, we have Moundo right here, who is, he's now grey. Nothing really special about that. He still charges into you like an idiot. But he also has these weird tornado attacks. Like, he'll constantly spin around like this, and he'll actually chase after you, and he'll actually fly to try and chase after you. And all that good stuff. So yeah, you take out Moundo, and yeah, there's not really anything special to him. There's the jumping attacks that are a bit new, but again, nothing that special at the moment. Anyway, after that, you go up against two bosses at once, which is the Water Galbarus and the Dubior. That Dubior is going to be the bane of your existence in the later runs in the extra mode, because the thing with the extra mode, while I say it's kind of handled similarly to how Star Fox 64 handled the extra mode, if you've been following the channel at all. While it may have been like that, I'm trying to think now. The extra mode in this game is a bit different because instead of like your usual playthrough, in the extra mode, stars that you collect are hollow. The bosses, as you can see right here, are completely redone, recolored, and have different attack patterns. Trying to think what else is there. One-ups have halos on them, and the main difference, other than the bosses, is your health bar. In the extra mode, your health bar is actually cut into... You have like 60% of your normal health in the extra mode. So basically, you can take less hits. It's fake difficulty, I know, but it does make the game a decent bit more challenging and a lot more interesting, especially with the way that they've actually changed the bosses. For example, Fatty Puffer right here, usually he'll smash into the wall, but now he'll actually go round and smash into the other wall, which can catch you off guard. And then there's the occasional time he'll actually climb the wall and the ceiling to try to get to you. Yeah, Fatty Puffer is actually a pretty difficult boss, especially on your first go against him when you're like going through the extra mode, because the first time I went up against Fatty Puffer, I was at death's door by the time I took him out. Saying that, I say that, I'm not doing very well with what I'll do right here. See, right there, he actually climbs a wall and chases after you. So, again, it's all a simple case of pattern recognition, really, but I appreciate the fact that they've actually changed the boss strategies up a bit, other than like Star Fox 64, where they're exactly the same. Anyway, now we are moving on to Goliath, the Super Saiyan monkey, who is now black for some reason. Anyway, Goliath, his attack pattern hasn't really changed all that much, actually. His health bar has been increased, which is probably the reason why the health bar is like a different colour. That's supposed to mean that he takes a lot more hits, but other than that, whacked him straight in the ass there. Goliath isn't really that much different. I mean, he still goes Super Saiyan, but actually saying that, no, he is quite different. At the start of the second phase, he launches a Spirit Bomb at you. Have fun with that. His boss really is ripping off Dragon Ball Z. He's got Kamehamehas, he's got Spirit Bombs, and then he gets smashed in the face by a hammer. Boom. Yeah, not really anything to say at this point, so... Boom, I guess. Anyway, the 5th boss of the game, as you might remember, is the Grand Boomer. And he's now gone from golden to a dark red. He looks very similar to the fire... He looks like a combination between the Fire Doomer and the Purple Doomer. I don't really have a decent name for that Doomer. I'll just call him the Simple Sphere Doomer or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, the Grand Doomer is... he's a case of a boss that hasn't really had his attack pattern changed that much, but the attacks that he does have are a lot more aggressive than what they usually are. I mean, his flying speed's generally faster, the spheres that he launches are they're generally more spheres when he launches, his attacks generally do more damage, and some of his attacks cover a wider area, like that one attack where he can eat you from the ground. That attack covers a larger area, so if you're too close, you'll end up getting eaten and stuff like that. He doesn't actually show it off here because I end up beating him to death, but anyway, haven't actually showed him off that much, but here's Meta Knight. As you'd expect, he's your basic sword ability, but he's also... Meta Knight is actually mixed with the wing ability. Like, his wings will give him the flight speed that the wing ability would normally have, so mobility is very helpful. Thing is, though, his walking speed is a lot slower than the other characters. And, yeah, he's also kind of like a hard mode for the arena because of how he ends up controlling. He definitely requires a lot of skill to master, but he's basically your sword ability. He's got a couple of different attacks that differ from Kirby's sword ability. His flight speed's increased, but the ground speed is abysmal compared to what it usually is. He can also do a glide attack like that by holding down and then pressing up on 1. And he can do that glide attack that was taken from Smash Bros. Brawl, which is nice. Yeah, Meta Knight is definitely one of the more versatile out of the side characters, but again, he requires a lot of skill to be able to use properly. There's the another attack from his wing ability right there. But thing is, in the extra mode, straight after going up against the Metal General, you'll get a new boss that didn't exist in the main game. This is HRD 3, which is a reference to Kirby 64, where you go up against a boss called HRD 2, I think. I'll get the text guy to correct me if I'm wrong, but it's something very similar. Basically, he's in a giant mech suit and he's trying to completely destroy you and stuff like that. In the arena, this is actually one of the last boss fights that you'll go up against. And when you get to the last 5 boss fights in the true arena, then basically all of them are set out, because while in the most of the other fights for the arena, all of the last 5 fights are actually set in order. So you will go up against like the final boss as the last boss here. So HRD 3 should be like boss number 12, but I'm showing him in the same place as the Metal General because in the extra mode, HRD 3 will pop up as soon as you beat Metal General in the actual extra mode. So I thought I'd show that off. Hence why I'm still playing as Meta Knight right here, just to keep up continuity and stuff. Anyway, I haven't actually talked about HRD 3. He actually has 2 phases, as you probably already noticed. This is his second phase right now. His first phase generally involves him spinning around trying to punch you using lasers. His second phase right here involves him going around trying to crush you, punch you, shoot a giant fuck you laser at you and all that good stuff. And eventually he'll go back to the attack count of his first phase and then try to crush you again in the second phase. But yeah, it's nothing that difficult really. It takes a lot more damage than what you'd expect for a giant mech, so nothing that special. But this boss never actually existed in the the main game, but he was in the extra mode, so thought I'd show that off. Anyway, right here we have the four-headed dragon Landia. And Landia actually randomly turns purple for some reason. And Landia, similar to the Grand Duma, has the attack pattern where it's generally the same as the Grand Duma, but the attack pattern order has been changed slightly, and his attacks are a lot more aggressive, and particularly in the second phase, they actually mix their attacks up a little bit, as I should be able to show up to you. I'm not too sure whether I'll do that or not. Anyway, Landia is one of the hardest bosses in the entire game, so you do have to keep your wits about you. And considering this is the arena where if you take one hit and if you get one game, if you lose one life, that's the end of it. You do have to be careful with how you fight Landia, because if you just end up going in all hell's blazing and stuff like that and lose all your health, you're not going to have any health for the next battle and you'll end up wasting a Maxim Tomato. And in the true arena, you only have 3 of those things. So you have to make sure you use them sparingly, otherwise you'll overuse them, and by the time you get to the last set of bosses, well, basically you'll have run out of Maxim Tomatoes and you'll have no chance to heal, so you have to manage your healing very well in this. Anyway, I think this is the part that I mentioned where they actually mix up their attacks. Like now, all 3 of the other dragons are going for shooting fireballs at you, but the dragon with the crown on its head actually charges into you while they're doing that. Right, that's about all the time that I've got left for this part, ladies and gentlemen, so I'll see you guys in the finale of the bonus episodes of Kirby 64. Yeah, there's only 2 bonus episodes, but still, it's something, right? Anyway, I'll see you guys there.